It is the year 1600. The mud of central Japan is soaked in the blood of tens of thousands of warriors following the Battle of Sekigahara, the violent conclusion to the Warring States period. The victory at Sekigahara established the Tokugawa shogunate, beginning a 250-year period of relative peace and stability under a strict new social order. This peace presented a unique existential crisis for the samurai class. A warrior caste trained for centuries in the art of the kill suddenly found themselves without a war, leaving them to question their purpose in a society that no longer required their primary skill. Among the survivors on the losing side of the battle was a 16-year-old boy named Miyamoto Musashi. Finding himself on the wrong side of history, he became a ronin, a masterless samurai, forced to wander the country. The combat Musashi survived bore little resemblance to the graceful choreography found in modern films. Historical survival was a matter of asymmetrical violence, crushed skulls and severed limbs, where a single second of hesitation meant death. Stripped of a lord to serve or an army to march with, Musashi embarked on a musha shugyo, a warrior's pilgrimage. He chose to find meaning through the solitary, obsessive perfection of his own technique. Over the next decade, Musashi traveled the Japanese archipelago, engaging in over 60 documented duels to the death without suffering a single defeat. He proved the lethality of his unorthodox style in Kyoto by systematically dismantling the Yoshioka clan, a family of respected martial arts instructors. He defeated their top swordsman in succession, effectively ending a school that had reigned for a century. This era of lethal dueling reached its peak in 1612 on a small strip of land in the Kanmon Straits called Ganryuchima. Here, Musashi faced his most formidable rival, the expert swordsman Sasaki Kojiro. Musashi prioritized the psychological destruction of his opponent long before the first strike. He arrived hours late to the island, intentionally shattering Kojiro's focus and inducing a state of blind rage that compromised his technique. Knowing Kojiro wielded an exceptionally long blade, Musashi improvised. During the boat ride to the island, he carved a wooden oar into a sword that was slightly longer than Kojiro's, granting him the crucial advantage of reach. Musashi won the duel with a single, decisive blow. He survived because he viewed combat as a holistic exercise in adaptation, breaking an opponent's mind and exploiting their specific physical weaknesses before they could even begin to launch their attack. This focus on total adaptability became the foundation of his unique fighting style, Niten Ichi-Ryu, or two heavens as one. Standard samurai practice involved using a single sword with both hands. Musashi rejected this, training instead to wield the long katana and the short wakizashi simultaneously to create a continuous, overlapping flow of defense and offense. His method was based on fluid response. Traditional schools emphasized rigid stances that made warriors easy to read. Musashi discarded all customary flourishes in favor of pure, lethal pragmatism, evaluating every movement solely on its efficiency in neutralizing an enemy. By discarding the safety of tradition, Musashi evolved from a raw duelist into a master strategist who viewed every environment and every opponent as a puzzle to be solved. Following the duel with Kojiro, Musashi renounced lethal combat. He began to embrace the philosophy of Kenzen Ichinyo, the belief that the way of the sword and the way of Zen are identical. In 1640, the aging warrior settled in Kumamoto under the patronage of Lord Hosokawa Tadatoshi. Here, his focus shifted from the destruction of opponents to the cultivation of art, calligraphy, and philosophy. Sensing the approach of death in 1643, Musashi sought total asceticism. He retired to the Reigondo Cave, a solitary rock cavern in the mountains, to live as a hermit. It was inside this cave that he authored the Book of Five Rings. He used his final years to distill a lifetime of blood-soaked experience into a universal guide on timing, distance, and the spirit of confrontation. He also composed the Dokodo, or the Path of Aloneness. This text outlined 21 strict precepts for self-discipline, emphasizing absolute self-reliance and the rejection of emotional impulse. His writings reveal a core conviction that mastery is a singular, transferable state. The discipline and adaptability required to survive a sword fight are the same qualities he used to master every subsequent challenge he faced. The same hands that survived 60 duels produced these delicate inkwashes. Musashi believed that by mastering one way deeply, a person would eventually begin to see the underlying principles of strategy in all things. Japan's deadliest duelist found his final victory in total stillness. Having conquered his own internal battles, he left behind a work on self-reliance that remains as sharp and relevant today as it was 4 centuries ago.